Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am finally sharing with you my wedding details. So I'm gonna share with you from the venue, my wedding dresses, decorations, the flower arrangements, reception, after party, basically everything that I can think of that entails a wedding. When I announced that I was getting married, a lot of you actually reached out to me and told me that you're engaged and you're also planning your wedding. So I thought this video might be helpful for some of you guys out there. And I wanted to do this video a little sooner as well because it's already been 4 months. Oh my goodness, how time flies. But our photographer had a bit of a busy wedding season and we only got all our photos back a couple of months ago. And I thought this video needs some photos so that I can show you all of the details properly. So I hope you enjoy, and let's get into all my wedding details. So we had a pretty short engagement. So we only had 3 months to plan our wedding. We had a pretty small wedding of 60 guests and a few of them were children as well. Even a small wedding, we thought 3 months was a little bit too short of a time frame to basically plan everything perfectly. So we had to compromise on some things and let some things go. In the end, I think it worked out even better because I can get a little indecisive and I can start stressing over little details because I do have a bit of that perfectionist tendencies. In the end, I think having the limited time frame really helped me not stress as much unnecessarily. Also, we didn't use a wedding planner, which in hindsight, maybe it would have really helped us out with time and, the headache. But in the end, it worked out well because luckily my husband is quite hands-on and he's quite organized. So he handled a lot of the planning and made a lot of decisions. But I will say it was still pretty stressful. So I do recommend getting a wedding planner if you guys have a shorter time frame or if you don't want to stress too much, because I definitely stressed a little. So starting with the venue, we got married at Jonas at Whale Beach, which is about 1 hour drive up from the Sydney CBD. It is a beautiful beachside location, actually on a cliff top overlooking the beach. It was a really nice day. So we did our ceremony and lunch reception all at the same venue. So the ceremony started around 11 a.m. Then we had canapes and then we had the reception around 1:30 and the whole wedding finished around 4:35 o'clock. And we also had an after party at the Crown Sydney up at Cirque Bar with about 20 of our closest friends. So that was a really nice casual way to end our wedding day. So going back to Jonas, it is a boutique hotel and they do quite a bit of weddings, but lately they've been trying to hold off on doing too many weddings so that they can keep it a little more exclusive. And we didn't actually mean to have such a short engagement, but when we went out to check the venue and asked them for dates, they actually had a Saturday available in April, which is actually in the middle of peak wedding season. That's a bit soon. But with COVID and all this uncertainty, we also didn't want to have a long engagement when we couldn't predict what was going to happen. A lot of our friends had to cancel their weddings in 2020, 2021, and we just didn't want any of that uncertainty. So we thought, you know what? It's only 3 months, but we'll take the date. So the reason why we went for a daytime slot is because Jonas has breathtaking views during the day, but after sunset, you can't see anything at all because it's not in the middle of the city or anything. It's a little bit away from the city. So after your sun goes down, there's no other lights, there's no skylines, there's really nothing to see. So you're basically sitting in a restaurant with no view, but during the day, the view is just so beautiful. So I'm gonna go over some details now. I don't know what order to go in. This could be in a very random order, but I'm gonna start with my wedding dress. So I ended up going for 2 different dresses. So one for the ceremony and a different dress for the reception. And I actually thought that I was gonna just stick with the one dress, and I actually bought my reception wedding dress really early on. I basically went to 2 wedding dress shops and purchased my reception wedding dress at the second shop. So I didn't actually shop around too much. Mind you, I didn't have a lot of choices because I also found out that for most wedding dress shops, you need to give them about 8 to 9 months lead time to make your own wedding dress, and that's most dresses. But if you're like me and you've only got 3 months to plan your wedding, the only options you have are off-the-rack dresses. And a lot of brands actually offer off-the-rack dresses, but you obviously can't have your dress exactly to how you like it. You've just got to pick one that's available that suits your style and your vision as closely as possible. But I was really lucky that it only took me 2 different shops to find my dream dress. So I actually picked my dress from an Australian designer called Rachel Gilbert. I went to their boutique in Paddington. I tried on a few dresses, and this particular one that's called the Ophelia gown, it was love at first sight. I really loved it, and it really suited my body frame quite well. And I love the fact that it was slightly off-white color, so it was more like a cream color rather than stark white. And with my complexion, I think that creamy color worked really well. So I just thought that dress is so elegant, I'm gonna go with it, and I'm just gonna wear it for the whole day. So I'm not even gonna bother changing in between the ceremony and the reception, and I'm just going to be that simple bride who just has the one dress. And then I picked up my dress, got it dry cleaned, obviously because it's off the rack, and I got it fitted. And then that last week before my wedding, as many brides do, I started having second thoughts, and I thought I was going crazy, but I just started having this idea in my head, oh my goodness, for the ceremony, I actually want something fluffy, something with laces. It's my one wedding, and maybe my dress that I picked is just too simple and it doesn't have the laces, and I started going a little bit crazy. And then I actually ended up deciding, okay, I'm gonna go and try some dresses again and maybe hire one, because I'm not gonna be able to find a dress to buy now that I only have a week to go. So luckily, we did actually end up going with some pre-wedding photos, which is quite traditionally what Koreans do. So about a month or two before the wedding, we actually take some photo shoots. And the photographer that we went with, his wife actually is part of the business where she rents out wedding dresses that you can wear for these pre-wedding photo shoots, but they also hire out these dresses for weddings. So I remember seeing a lot of these lacy, truly wedding dresses when I went to the studio. So I actually contacted the lady and I was like, can I come in and try some dresses? And I might actually have to rent one for this Saturday. And luckily the lady was very accommodating. So I went and actually ended up finding this one that I ended up going with, which really scratched the itch of me wanting to get something really fluffy. So that was a bit of a crazy last minute decision on my part, but I don't regret it one bit, because I think I would have kept having second thoughts about having that one simple, elegant dress for the whole day. And I think I would have regretted not going for something completely different for the ceremony. So I was quite happy with that decision, and the lady was quite nice. She only charged me like 500 Australian dollars to rent the dress for 2 nights. So I picked it up and put it together. So that's my story about my wedding dresses. And you guys have already seen my wedding shoes. I went with 2 pairs of Jimmy Choo shoes. So I wore the one with the pearl and tulle detail for the ceremony and the reception, and I got myself the crazy, really sparkly one for the after party. Oh, actually I did grab a different sort of short creamy dress for my after party as well, which I shared with you previously on my channel, but it's this dress right here. I really loved the simplicity of that dress. It's that sort of a, you know, it's effortless but chic, but also quite sexy, because at the back it was a plunge back. So that dress was really amazing as well. And what I loved about that dress is that I could probably wear that for other occasions as well. It's not way too white, and it's not something that is too detailed that I can't wear it again. So I fully intend on wearing that again for something, maybe a white party or something. So that was my whole look. And then with jewelry, I actually just rented the jewelry for the ceremony dress from the rental place. And then for the reception dress, I actually borrowed my bestie's pearl earrings and necklace, which I thought went perfectly with my dress. So I didn't bother getting jewelry for the wedding. What do they say? You always need something new, something old, and something borrowed. And then my bestie said my pearl jewelry can be something borrowed. So that's what I did. And then hubby didn't actually go for a tuxedo because it was a beachside sort of outdoors wedding. So we did think about it. The tux would have been a little more weddingy, but one, he's probably never gonna wear it again, and two, it probably would have looked a little too formal for the outdoor setting that we had. So instead he just went with a really nice Emporio Armani navy suit, which he can wear again and again in the future. And the fitting was all complimentary as well, so they altered the suit for him and it fit him really well. well. And to make the whole look a little more weddingy, we went with a bow tie, and we got the bow tie from Hermes actually, because we found one in the sort of blue color with all these little love hearts, and we thought that was just so cute. And he also got his best friends, so the best man and some of his close friends, the matching ties in the same print as well. So that was really cute. And then with his shoes, he actually splurged a little bit and went with these, I think they're called John Lobb. I'll insert a photo of the shoes in the deep brown color. It's beautiful. Those shoes cost more than my Pearl Jimmy Choo wedding shoes, but it's going to be versatile. You can wear it again and again in the future as well. And he also got similar shoes for his friends. So that was his whole look. In terms of the bridal party, we had a very small bridal party. So I had one maid of honor and he had his best man. Now we actually had a few other friends who really helped with our wedding, but we didn't actually decide to go with a whole bridal party that was bigger because some of these friends came from overseas. So we weren't actually sure if some of our closest friends could even make it because of COVID restrictions at the time. So one of my very good childhood friends, she actually flew all the way from Korea, and she helped me so much the day before the wedding and the day of the wedding, and I would have loved to have her as my other bridesmaid. And same with hubby, he had a couple of friends who really helped out, but they all came from overseas and we just didn't know whether they could make it or not. So we just went with a very small official bridal party. So my bestie here, who you've seen, she was my maid of honor. Her dress, oh my goodness, we actually picked on the week of the wedding, but I think we found the best one for the venue as well. So we actually got her this beautiful soft blue long dress with all these fine silver glitters. It looked absolutely amazing on her. We were initially gonna go with the typical sort of pinky color dress, which looks really great on her. So we were pretty set on it, but we were thinking about it, and then we went back to the dress shop and we saw this blue one and we just fell in love. So that ended up being the one. Since most of my audience is girls, you guys are also probably interested in the rest of the look. So my hair and makeup, that was actually the biggest nightmare because I'm pretty particular about my makeup. I mean, not really. I just wanted my makeup to be sort of not altering the way I look. I still wanted to look like me, but you know, often when you wear full sort of wedding makeup or full formal makeup, it can really change the way you look, and you sometimes look like someone else and you don't look yourself. And I actually had 2 wedding makeup trials before I found the one which was my 3rd trial. So the first 2, they were okay and I didn't really mind. If I have some photos, I'll actually show you. But one of them made me look like I'm someone else, but I was generally still quite happy with the look she's achieved, but it wasn't really exactly what I was looking for. And then another one, oh my gosh, that was just a disaster. Even my eyes were sort of lopsided and I was like, no way. And remember, I only had like 2.5 months to find myself a wedding makeup artist, and these people get booked up so quickly and so early as well. So this 3rd one, I knew she would be quite good because I've seen her work on Instagram, and shout out to her. Oh my goodness, Amy, you did an amazing job. Anyway, so I knew that she was quite good, but when I contacted her the first time, she said she's not available. Then I actually contacted her again saying I'm happy to do my makeup a little earlier, and that was because I wanted my maid of honor and my mom and mother-in-law to all get their makeup done by her. But this particular makeup artist, she said, no, I'm not available, I'm sorry, I have another wedding that day. So then I thought I'll find someone else. And then when those other 2 trials really didn't go the way that I wanted, I actually spoke to my mom and my bestie, and they both told me, ask this other lady, Amy, if she can just do me, which will take a shorter amount of time, and they are happy to find their own makeup artist. So I thought it would have been such a nice bonding session for us to all get our makeups done together. But my mom and my bestie actually both told me, no, that morning is going to be so busy, doesn't matter. It's actually better if they find their own makeup artists, because then everyone can get ready at the same time and it will actually reduce the amount of time that we need to get ready. So my bestie found her own makeup artist who she used for different parties before. My mum, who has a friend whose daughter does wedding makeup, so mum went to hers, and then I ended up booking with this Amy that I really wanted to work with. And it was so funny because she also works with this photographer that we went with who did our pre-wedding photos. So she actually did my makeup for the pre-wedding photo shoot, which doubled as a trial for me, which was great and saved some time and money for me as well. And I absolutely loved how she did my makeup. It enhanced all my features but still kept me looking like me, and she basically just made my face look like the prettier version of my face. And the hair was just very simple as well. It was a simple updo with a bit of a side fringe, and I just love that classic look. So very happy with how my makeup turned out. Next detail I want to talk about is flowers and decorations. So basically, because the venue was so beautiful, we didn't need to do a lot of decorations. We didn't even hire any furniture, and we kept our florals very, very minimal. Basically, all the decorations that we had was just flowers. So for the ceremony, we just hired an arch from the florist with some white and green floral arrangements and just one table arrangement for the signing table, which then we took that one to the reception and put it on the guest signing table. So that was all we basically did for the ceremony decoration. We didn't go with any aisle decoration or chair decorations because the venue provided these beautiful white chairs, and like I said, the view is breathtaking, the venue is beautiful. Why do we even need more decorations? I just kept everything really minimal, which is great because it saved us money, but also reduced the amount of things that could have gone wrong. The ceremony happens at the garden downstairs overlooking the beach, and then the reception is in their main restaurant, which is upstairs from it with all windows surrounding, so you can see the beautiful view from wherever you're sitting in the restaurant. So for the reception decoration, we also kept it really, really simple. We basically only had table decorations, and again, the venue was quite classy that we didn't actually have to do much. We just had, again, the middle section, a runner of white flowers and green foliages, and then the venue basically provided everything else, like the table number, which was actually quite gorgeous, and they also organized menus, so that was beautiful as well. They had beautiful cutlery, the plate and napkin, the color options, they actually gave us options to choose from 2 different sets, so we chose the one that we liked. And then it was basically just our Bominaries wedding guest favors, so the little gifts that we give to our guests to take home. So we just went with those beautiful coasters and kept it really simple. We just printed their name on it in the runny font, and then I just thought that gold trim was really beautiful, and it's something that everyone can take home and actually use as drink coasters at home as well. How many times did we go to weddings and got these Bominaries or gifts that we never used? So, you know, at least I thought this could be useful, and it also doubles as table decoration, and we didn't actually have to print out name cards, so that was an extra bonus. So the reception, we just had 6 long tables and then a bridal table at the front because we had a very small bridal party, and this is what a lot of Koreans do traditionally as well, that their parents sit with them. So we actually, after long consideration, ended up sitting with our families at the bridal table, and best man and maid of honor, they sat on the tables closest to us. So my bestie actually ended up just sitting with her hubby, and it was really, really great. The only other decoration that we had at the reception was we had one table with 3 printed wooden blocks of our pre-wedding photos, just to, you know, have something that's a bit weddingy. So that was basically it. And then we actually had a drink station, and later on that's where the dessert buffet went, and that acted as a nice little decorative area as well, which worked out really well. And like I said, we kept our reception very, very sort of casual and very sort of daytime reserved. So we had some speeches and a couple of singings. So my brother sang, one of my hubby's good friends sang for us, so it was really nice. So we didn't really have like a DJ or a dance floor or anything, but we actually hired a photo booth for about 3 hours, which actually was amazing. It was one thing that we weren't sure whether we're gonna have it or not, but we were so glad that we did it because so many people had a really great time and they ended up with really amazing family photos, couple photos, and yeah, that was a great souvenir. So we went with the whole package where the printers included as well, so you can get your photos printed on the spot for people to take, and you can also get a soft copy sent to your email or your phone as well, and you can also upload directly to your social media. So that photo booth company, I'll actually leave a link to down below. Yeah, that was definitely worthwhile having. In terms of the photographer and the videographer, we basically just went with whoever the venue recommended. They gave us a list of contractors that they have worked with before, that they work with quite frequently. So we just picked one of those that were available, and this particular contractor had both photographer and videographer contractors, so we just let them do their magic. Because they've worked at this venue multiple times, I thought they'll know how to work the magic the best, so we just went with that. And the price wasn't too bad either. It was, I think, actually quite affordable. Going back to the flowers, I noticed that if you just stick with the white and green theme, it's actually the cheapest. And initially I didn't just pick the white ones because I wanted it to be cheaper, but I honestly can be quite indecisive, and I thought if I just go white and green, I can't really go wrong, so I don't have to make too many decisions, and that's the only reason I went with the white and green. But it ended up being a great decision because it also saved us a couple of grand as well on flowers. Next detail, the music. So we didn't have a DJ or anything because we didn't have a dance floor for our reception, so we actually came up with our own playlist, a Spotify playlist, and played the songs throughout the reception, which was great. And then I guess some main songs that we picked, if you guys are thinking what songs to play for each section, I wanted to share with you a few of those. So when I walked down the aisle, that was the first song that I picked. I picked Ellie Goulding's How Long Will I Love You. It's such a beautiful song, and it's quite a short song. I think it's like 2.5 minutes, so it was perfect amount for my maid of honor to walk in, and then I walked in after. And then during signing the papers, because it's pretty quiet, there's nothing for the guests to do, we played another song called Prayer. So that one my father-in-law picked, and you know, it was beautiful as well. And then to walk out the end of the ceremony, we played My Girl, which was very befitting. And then I think the only other song we really picked as like a main song is when we entered the reception, and I think that was Perfect by Ed Sheeran. So that was beautiful. And then the rest of the reception, it was just background songs. We just picked out a list of songs that we wanted to play in the background. So that's that. My brother sang for us 1,000 Years, which is a very popular wedding song. So that made me cry a little bit, but yeah, that was beautiful. And we also mixed some sort of Korean songs there as well as background music. So yeah, that was our music. So we just kept everything low-key and very classic. And then in terms of the wedding cars, we didn't actually hire any wedding car. We just used our parents-in-law's white Range Rover. It was spacious enough. It was white. It's a beautiful car. So one of our friends just put the white ribbon at the front of the car, and it just looked like any other wedding car. So that's what I rode in for my wedding day. And yeah, we saved a bit of money there as well, because I know if you want to hire out limousines or those Rolls Royces, if some of you guys are into that, I mean, it would have cost you at least 2-3 grand. But I decided not to go with any of that because it wasn't very important to me that I get those photos. And then the after party wasn't really part of the wedding, but the venue that we picked, Cirque at the Crown, it was really beautiful. It had beautiful views of Sydney. You can see the Opera House, you can see the Harbour Bridge. The vibe was really nice. So we just ordered like a set menu of canapes. They just bring out finger foods and drinks, and we thought that was really nice because most people would have been hungry by then. The other thing that I want to mention is the invitations. We didn't actually go for the paper invitations. We went with email invitations. Now it's a bit controversial. Some people might think that that's a little informal, but we had 2 good reasons to go for email invitations. One is that we had a short notice. We only had like a month or 2 months to get everyone's answers back. And then also with COVID and everything, some of our friends lived overseas, will never get it in the post in time. And with these email invitations, you can update information as you go, and it's just so much easier to communicate and for people to actually look up the venue or the program or anything like that. So we thought it's the more practical way to do it. So again, we kept it really simple, and we actually used this website called Grenvelope. I really recommend it. They make the RSVPs really easy. They track for you. They send reminders out for you. And then we haven't done this yet because we only just got our photos back. But you know how people send out those thank you cards after your wedding? We're also gonna do that via email and send some photos that they're in as well. So I remember when some of my friends got married a few years ago, we got thank you notes with printed photos. But I think times have evolved a little more since COVID, that was so comfortable having everything as soft copy. So I'm not gonna print out and send out physical notes. I think we're just gonna do that via email as well, which I need to organize probably before we go away. So that's everything that I can think of. They're basically the details of our wedding day. If you have any questions about anything, do leave them in the comments below or DM me on Instagram. If you're Sydney based and if you want to know how much anything was, also DM me as well, because I actually found the one thing that was really difficult for us at the beginning was to actually budget properly, because you just have no idea how much things cost. I can't remember these figures off the top of my head, and also obviously I don't really want to make this video all about how much everything was. So if you're in a situation where you are trying to budget, maybe I can give you a little bit of an idea, so DM me. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending some of your precious time with me today, and I can't wait to see you again soon in my next video. Bye guys!